What's going on, you guys, and welcome to today's video. I am just getting up and getting ready for the day. Megan's already got up. She went to work for the day. I like to get up with her around 5 o'clock in the morning and kind of see her off. And then usually I'll sit by myself, have a cup of coffee. And then in the past, that would be when I would get dressed out and I would go for one of my runs as we prepare for this half marathon. We're about 2 weeks out from it. So we're in a little bit of a taper right now, but it is dark and cold outside. I don't have any reflective gear. So the last place I want to be this early in the morning is running along the side of the road in the pitch dark. For me, it's just too much of a risk of getting run over by a car or something, something unforeseeable that could possibly happen. So with that in mind, yesterday was my son's 4th birthday. We spent the entire day hanging out with him. We went to a trampoline park. We did all these awesome things. But one thing we also did was we went and we purchased and invested in a treadmill. Now I know for some people, running lots of mileage on a treadmill is not ideal. And I'll straight up tell you, like, staying in one spot and running on just a continuous belt is not my favorite thing. But I do know that I have to continue to get my mileage in as we kind of taper and get ready for this and roll into this half marathon. And next year I'm gonna be committing to a full marathon, and I have to keep my mileage up as, in Washington, it is dark and rainy all through fall and winter. So because I know that is going to be an issue and I wanna keep my mileage up, treadmill really was our only option, and it was a great addition to our home gym downstairs. After I get done with my running, we'll get up, we'll get the kids up, we'll get them out to school, and then we're heading to the gym because I have a designer coming that is gonna basically decorate and design the exterior, or is gonna basically spruce up the place, if you will. We're gonna be adding decorations, maybe doing some painting and some different projects inside of the gym to make it look nicer and to get it more consistent on brand with what we want it to look like. And she'll be coming out to do that. And it kind of makes me think that the process that I've gone through at Virtuous or the layers that I've kind of walked through have been fairly interesting. I feel like I spent a lot of time just learning how to be a good coach with programming and nutrition and communication and understanding the psychology of people so that I can kind of help them along. I spent a lot of time doing that. Then I went into systems and processes and learning how to create our system at Virtuous. And then from there, I dove into a lot of leadership stuff as the team started to grow, and I needed to make sure that I was kind of putting people in the right place and then leading them in a way that would make them successful and continue to push our goals and the boundaries of what we do. So I spent a lot of time learning all those things, which is, I guess for me, is kind of like the internal workings of a business. And with all of that going on, now I feel like we built a really solid foundation, but I completely neglected how things basically look on the outside, if you will, of the business. So it's not like, you guys have seen the gym. It's not like the gym is just this, rundown place, but I think we're at a point where it's time to get things more consistent on brand and to give like a look and a feel to the gyms when you walk inside, and with painting and any sort of things that we're gonna do. So with that in mind, I'm gonna go downstairs, I'm gonna get my workout in, and then I'll see you guys there. All right, just finished my run. Running on a treadmill, significantly harder than running outside, no doubt to my mind. Something that was interesting though is how much more challenging an incline feels than an actual hill for me on the treadmill. So because of the course that I'm running for the half marathon out here in Paulsbo, it's just tons of uphills everywhere. So inclines, declines, And I know I'm not gonna be able to simulate going down on a treadmill and what that can do, but I can simulate going up. And what I would do is I would run, you know, half a mile, 0.7 flat. And then for the last 0.3 every time, I would run it an incline, and I would take it, the incline here is like 0 to 15. I would take it to like 7 or 8 every time. And it was interesting to kind of have to lean in to the climb every time just to stay on my pace. So I was bouncing between like an 8.5 and a 9.5 minute mile. This was meant to be an easy run, so keeping the heart rate between, you know, 135 to 150 is my zone 2 or 3. So just paying mind to that, making sure paces are good. And then my goal for this half, going from like 0 to, you know, no running, to running consistently for 4 days per week for the past, this is week 13, I think. Doing that consistently for this long, I'm shooting for under 2 hours. So gonna finish up with a little cool down walk. I have fogged up my windows. I don't know if you can tell, but I have sweat all over this treadmill. All right, so just getting all the kids off to school for today. We got my middle son off to the bus stop, got my oldest dropped off at his friend's where he catches the bus, and then now I'm just completing getting my youngest off to daycare. The dad gauntlet during the week is kind of intense just because the minute I finish my morning movement or my routines that I do in the morning, it's usually like a whirlwind of making sure that kids eat breakfast, kids are dressed. My youngest has this thing where he never wants to wear underwear, so I have to make sure he's wearing underwear. It's just this crazy run around, just hour and a half that we basically do to make sure that we get our kids off to school and not looking a hot mess when they get there. So dad gauntlet is completely done. Usually I'll just sit in my truck and just kind of take a second. I was actually talking to my wife about this yesterday while our son was playing the trampoline park, about how after the dad gauntlet is done in the morning, I often will just like sit in the truck. I'll play like some lo-fi beats music through Spotify and just listen to music and chill. And then typically I'll finish my second cup of coffee and I'll literally sit in the parking lot and just relax and catch my breath, just because like that morning gauntlet is just like a super stimulating thing, and I need to make sure that like my state, my level is even keel before I head off and go and be the face and the leader of Virtuous. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put the camera away, gonna just get in my element, bring my level down a little bit just because of just the craziness, and then we'll be off to the gym. All right, so it's been a fun morning. What was really cool is I just had the opportunity, after folding shirts and doing a little bit of programming and kind of email admin work, is I had the opportunity to actually sit and watch Coach Becca coach one of our classes. You know, earlier I was talking about just like the systems and processes that are required to run a good business, and how I worked on kind of the internal workings of the business, and now I'm working on, you know, kind of how it looks on the outside. And it was cool to actually sit and just think through that, because it was fresh in my mind, but to sit and actually watch Becca as she went through coaching the classes. I mean, everything was like clockwork that we have, because we have a class template for everything that we do. And it was cool to like watch down to like the point her executing on our process. Clients come in, they're greeted, she walks around, she was doing her mingling, kind of getting to know people, talk to people, making sure that she was approaching the brand new faces first. She had her coach's uniform on, core values on the back, everything was on point. Then she went into explanation of the workout, did some names, went through what we like to do a lot of times in the very beginning when we're circling up and doing names, is we do like an icebreaker, and she did like your favorite Disney song today. And it was cool to just watch the room go from kind of like this low energy to this like amped up, excited group of people ready to work out. So she went through her icebreaker question, put out any announcement that we had, and then she went right into her warm-up. And she's actually playing a game this morning that is called rolling. So it's basically rowing, but a lot like bowling. You're trying to get to 100 meters without going over or being under. And then if you do, there's a penalty attached to it, typically burpees, and she was watching people do that. And the reason why you would do something like that on like a Friday, right, which today's Friday, the reason why you would do something like that is because you give an opportunity for people to work together, because we're gonna be partnering people up, but you give an opportunity for people to work together and to actually get to know each other, because it's kind of awkward on a partner day every now and then. But I truly believe it's kind of one of the main reasons we have such a tight community and culture at the gym. So she did that, and then just sitting there and watching these things go. And then she's gonna run into the workout and the technical practice, and people are gonna be off and executing on the workout. So just kind of cool to sit back and to watch all of those things happen. And these are things that I had in my mind years ago, and it's like, this is how you make a great group session. And now people just execute on them, and we get to take care of our clients in the process. So I am out on a walk, because what you don't know when you get into the gym business is that sometimes you find yourself behind a computer for a long period of time. So what we try to do is we try to go out and go on a few walks, and I walk this same course. I start back at the gym, walk around the road, go to here, and then I walk through this parking lot right here. Then I go back. I've got a personal training client coming in, and then our designer's gonna come in and take a look at the gym, and we're gonna see if we can't make this place look nice.
Doing a video of you?
All right, designer just left the gym, and it's gonna be kind of cool. So what the plan is we are gonna start by working on the front desk, where the main entryway where people come in. We're gonna start kind of working there, and then making our way around. What I kind of understood and why I'm having Shannon is her name, to come in and do the design work, is just because when I started this gym, I was just a guy that wanted to open a business, right? And so the gym started to look like a guy who was running a business. But now clientele has kind of changed, right? I have a very high female population, and an industrial space is just not the most welcoming place for them. So what the plan is going to be is to try to warm it up a little bit, make it a little bit more welcoming looking to, you know, people who don't know who we are and don't know about the quality of service that we give yet. We want them to come in and be kind of caught and captivated by how the inside of the location looks. So the plan is over the next few months to start working on things piece by piece. Again, we're going to start by the kind of the pro shop, the gift area, and the front desk. We're going to start there and then work our way around. Now, through all of that, I got a call from daycare, and this little guy wasn't feeling too well, so went and picked him up. So that changes a lot of plans for the entire day, and we're gonna head home and see if we can't get him situated and give him some relaxing time. So I'm gonna head out from the gym here, and I'll see you guys at home. All right, so long, crazy day, and everybody's home. Megan's home from work. All the kids are off school. We spent the last half of the afternoon just kind of relaxing just because the youngest boy, Holden, did get picked up from school early today. And that meant that work kind of had to end for the day. So we're all home now. Apparently the youngest boy is not feeling that sick because he's acting completely fine. But nonetheless, we've still got stuff to do. So my sons have practice at 5 o'clock, and then we're actually going to be going to the high school football game at 6 o'clock because they're having a Pee Wee football night to where they're going to have all of the local Pee Wee football teams out on the field for the national anthem, and they're going to kind of celebrate them, and then they're going to start the high school game after that. So we are heading out the door to that. I've got about 10 minutes to get ready to do so. It is a little chilly tonight, so I'm gonna get kind of bundled up so I'm not sitting there freezing all night. So we're gonna get set up for that, and then we are out the door, and I'll see you guys when we get back. All right, so we are just getting back from the football game. Not looking pretty for the home team tonight. They were getting crushed. So we left at halftime, grabbed some dinner, and now we're getting home and just kind of unwinding for the night. Megan and I actually hired nutrition coaches for basically somebody to handle our nutrition and provide us with accountability as we got ready for this half marathon. And Megan's coach actually has her doing basically 30 minutes of cardio a day. It could be, walking or running or literally anything that would be considered cardiovascular work. So she has her doing 30 minutes of work per day. So Megan is downstairs doing a little bit of cardio on our new treadmill. And I am probably gonna go down there and just do some light lower body stuff. Throughout this entire half marathon, anytime that I've done any sort of like heavy or higher volume lower body work, my runs have just felt like trash. So I'm just gonna go down there, I'm gonna move some blood around a little bit, and then we are gonna head off to bed. You guys, thank you so much for coming along with me today on this vlog. I mean, just kind of showing you a day in the life of what a gym owner and dad looks like. And if you get anything from these, make sure to hit that subscribe and that like button for me, and I'll see you guys on the next video.